Speciation in action. The peppered moth is a very ordinary-looking insect that is commonly found in England. Until a few hundred years ago, most moths had whitish-gray wings with speckles of black. When they landed on similar-colored trees and rocks, this was perfect camouflage for hiding from hungry birds. When air pollution from newly built factories caused the moths' hiding places to turn black, however, the moths were easy to see and quickly eaten by the birds. Then something extraordinary happened. In the new environment, rare black moths survived better, and soon the once white moths were mostly black. The peppered moth remains one of the best-known examples of how the unique environments of cities can cause animals to evolve, not least because in recent decades, air quality has improved dramatically in England, and trees and rocks are no longer covered in black soot. As a result, and unsurprisingly perhaps, most peppered moths now have their original coloring. In recent years, researchers have been looking more closely at other animals, birds, and plants that live in urban environments. It turns out that the peppered moth is not an exception to the rule but rather the norm. In fact, the more researchers look, the more examples of urban evolution they find. In Puerto Rico, the sticky pads on the feet of some lizards have changed so that they are better at climbing metal and glass buildings. Some birds have evolved shorter wings and tails so that they can take off more quickly to avoid dangerous cars. Mosquitoes have adapted to live in the dark environments provided by subway tunnels. Fish have evolved resistance to chemicals often found in city waterways. In short, the abundant asphalt, concrete, steel, and pollution drive evolution and force organisms to adapt. There is, then, little doubt that plants and animals evolve and adapt to cities. But these various examples of urban evolution have led to a very interesting question. Can cities cause organisms to evolve into completely new species? Cities do provide some of the classic conditions that help cause new species to evolve. For example, species often emerge when one population becomes physically separated from another. In nature, this happens because of mountain ranges, deserts, or oceans. In cities, physical obstacles such as roads or buildings create many opportunities for isolated populations to emerge. On the other hand, one problem is there is some debate about when a population of organisms actually becomes a distinct species. A generally accepted definition is that if two groups become sufficiently different that they can no longer breed with each other, then they are different species, even if they are broadly similar in appearance. A few such examples have been found. The best candidate for a completely new urban species is a new kind of blackbird. The common blackbird, Turdus marula, is a frequent sight in North Africa and Europe. Urban blackbirds differ physically from their rural cousins in subtle ways. For one thing, they have shorter, thicker beaks, which is believed to be related to the relative ease of finding food in urban areas. This difference is interesting but does not really qualify urban blackbirds as a new species. What really sets city blackbirds apart is their behavior. First of all, city blackbirds do not migrate in the winter, and they breed much earlier in the year than rural blackbirds. More importantly, however, city blackbirds have changed their songs in response to the noisy city environment. Not only do they sing at night to avoid the noise of the daytime city, but their mating songs are also sung at a much higher pitch so as to be more easily heard over the low rumble of the traffic and other human activity. This is significant because birds' songs are very species-specific, and rural blackbirds do not respond to the city blackbirds' songs. All of these behavioral changes mean that city blackbirds and rural blackbirds no longer breed with each other, one of the defining criteria of a new species. In fact, some scientists are already pushing for urban blackbirds to be given their own species name, Turdus urbanicus, to reflect this reality.